stars.
ló ń pèdè ló ń pèdè ló ń pèdè.
Báyọ̀ Adéàga.
ló ń pèdè ló ń pèdè ló ń pèdè.
Ó yá ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ wá bá wa yọ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Àní ẹ bá wa jó ẹ wá bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ wá bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa mí lẹ́gbẹ́.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Ẹni tó ti kú ó ní kò sí retí fún o láyé. Adéàga ẹni tó ti kú ó ní kò sí retí fún o. Àwa láyé àtúnwá láyé ìlóye ọba Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa mí lẹ́gbẹ́.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Ṣebí látọdún tó kọjá ìwọ ló pa wá mọ́ o látọdún èsì ìwọ ló fún wa ṣe o. Noble People Radio la kọ́kọ́ fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ Noble People TV ti wọlé ó bá wa láyọ̀ Ọlọ́run ló fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa mí lẹ́gbẹ́.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Ṣebí bí ò sí tọlọ́run ọba asán lè níyàn ìrànlọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú ènìyàn ìyẹn lọ́lọ́run fi fàdùn sáyé wa kẹ́ bá wa mí lẹ́gbẹ́.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Báyọ̀ Adéàga aláṣẹ Noble People Báyọ̀ Adéàga aláṣẹ Noble Magazine ènìyàn hàn ṣèbí tẹ́lẹ̀gàn lójú Ọlọ́run ti gbé ẹlẹ́gẹ̀ẹ́ amọ̀nìṣe ni ọ̀tá ilé ọ̀tá òde wọn ti lọ sẹ́ńpẹ́ àdé Ọlọ́run ló fàdùn sáyé rẹ kó sábà mí lẹ́gbẹ́.
ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ ẹ bá wa jó ẹ bá wa yọ̀ Ọlọ́run ti fàdùn sáyé wa ẹ bá wa yọ̀.
Torí bàbá ti ṣe ẹ́ lẹ́ni ayé mọ̀.
Bàbá ṣe mí lẹ́ni ayé fẹ́.
Báyọ̀ Adéàga bàbá ti ṣe ẹ́ lẹ́ni ayé mọ̀.
Bàbá ṣe mí lẹ́ni ayé fẹ́.
Orí burúkú ti dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ òun ti lọ àṣeyẹrí ti dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ òun ti lọ torí ìrókò tó bá gbà bọ́ọ̀dé kígé la òye àwọn ọ̀tá rẹ̀ bílà nígbà tí ò fọlọ́run ṣe bílà òun ní yóò fẹ̀yìn tí kò jẹ́ kó jábọ́ ọ̀tá fẹ́ yọ ẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ni ó bá fún wọn torí bàbá ti ṣe ẹ́ lẹ́ni ayé mọ̀.
Bàbá ṣe mí lẹ́ni ayé fẹ́.
Níyì Bright bàbá ti ṣe mí lẹ́ni ayé mọ̀.
Bàbá ṣe.
Welcome again to another edition of our program. This is a special program from Noble People International Magazine. We are sorry for starting this program very late, and we really apologize for coming on air late like this because the presenter is supposed to be around, and we are still waiting for the presenter to come over. My name is Adebayo Adéàga. Thank God we have the presenter here now. He's here. We'll be coming to anchor this show now. We are sorry for the delay, and I believe everything will be going on smoothly. I'll be handing over to the presenter now. But while we are still waiting for the presenter to come in, and we will have to put in another music for you to enjoy yourself. We'll be right back.
Adéàga Noble People's Magazine látọjọ́ tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ a ò máa rí irú Ọlọ́run ire
Látọjọ́ tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ a ò ní ẹkún àlùṣe.
torí bàbá ti gbé ẹlẹ́kẹ̀ ọ̀tá ilé ó ti gbé ẹlẹ́kẹ̀ ọ̀tá òde àwọn ẹni bí ẹni gbé ọ sókè. Báyọ̀ Adéagá bàbá kíkì nana tí ń jẹ́ bàbá àjẹbọ̀ aláṣẹ Noble Peoples tó kárí ayé pátá.
Látọjọ́ tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ a ò ní ẹkún àtúnṣe.
Ó yá sọ pé ọba gbogbo ayé bàbá ẹ ṣé gan. Báyọ̀ Adéagá
Ọba gbogbo ayé.
aláṣẹ Noble Peoples magazine.
Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan.
Báyọ̀ Adéagá
Ọba gbogbo ayé.
aláṣẹ Noble Peoples TV tó wọlé wẹ́rẹ́. Bàbá kíkì bàbá nana
Ọba gbogbo ayé.
bàbá àjẹbọ̀
Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan.
CEO presenter.
Ọba gbogbo ayé. Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan.
Kábíyèsí
Ọba gbogbo ayé.
bàbá mi
Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan.
ẹ bá mi tọ́jú omi tèmi Kíkẹ́ Diamond àwọn tèmi tilétilé ẹ yàtọ̀ gbogbo Noble Police pátápátá ẹ máa kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun gbogbo wa lájọ kéré oko délé. Ó yá MC kò ní kọ́ kò séwu lẹ́gbẹ̀rún ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀yin tèmi Noble Peoples magazine ẹ bá mi tọ́jú yétiyéti Yétúndé màmá mi má jẹ́ kò ké ṣọlá head of admin torí àwa ò rí irú ọlọ́run yẹrẹ. Bọ́tì yẹn
Látọjọ́ tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ a ò ní ẹkún àtúnṣe.
Onílé ayaba Esther George òrékelẹ́wà àfijú olórí gospel London ló gbé pawó Ọláwálé mo gbádùn ẹjù torí mo yàtọ̀ sí wọn mo tún yàbàrà kí TKM Connections pìrìsẹ́ńtà tó bójú owó ikú má pa ẹ́ ní rèwerèwe karùn má ṣe yẹ. Tọ́jú Adéagá Báyọ̀ bàbá mi aláṣẹ Noble magazine tó kárí ayé aláṣẹ Noble TV èyí tó wọlé wẹ́rẹ́. Ẹ̀kí
Látọjọ́ tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ a ò ní ẹkún àtúnṣe.
àwọn ọlọ́lá mo bá ròde o.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
ọlọ́láyé mo bá ròde o.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
Noble Peoples TV yẹ mo bá ròde o.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
Báyọ̀ Adéagá ni
Ọlọ́lá
aláṣẹ Noble Peoples rédíò tó kárí ayé bàbá kíkì nana mi bàbá àjẹbọ̀.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
ó yá kárẹ̀lé ilé prophetess mi prophetess divine òrékelẹ́wà bámi tọ́jú J-Boy Adéagá deputy head ní ìlú Naija ọlọ́láyé mo bá ròde o.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
J-Boy Adéagá mo bá ròde.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
ẹ bá mi kí kíkì nana mi kíkì nana òrékelẹ́wà pretty baby ìwọ ni head of department ní ìlú Naija òrékelẹ́wà kó ṣá máa gbádùn lọ ó àwọn lọ́lá mo bá ròde o.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
nana nana pretty baby òrékelẹ́wà.
Ọlọ́lá Noble Peoples mo bá ròde o. Ọlọ́lá
Reverend
Show a program on empowerment on Noble People TV and radio. I am John Chinode, and it's now time to introduce our guest this evening, and that is Sonny Ahonsa. Sonny, welcome, a warm welcome because it's cold out there, so a warm welcome to somewhere where it's warm.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you here on Noble People Radio and TV. Of course, we will open the lines, and because the topic this evening is on debt management. A lot of us sometimes ignore debt like it never exists, or sometimes we come up with stories, especially when we're with debt. We come up with stories. Sorry, I left my cash point card. Sorry, Mr. British Telecom or Mr. British Gas, I was in hospital. Or
because of debt. So tell us, what leads people into debt?
Well, according to some experts, some estimate are saying that credit card debt level on a daily basis is in the region of 1.5 billion spending daily. 80% of this spending was actually beyond the capacity of people who cannot afford to pay back. 80%. People get into debt for many, many reasons. Number one, impulse purchases. They go into the shop and they never come out without, buying anything. Some even go into the extent of a lavish holiday, some a lavish birthday party. But whatever the reasons are, people insidiously, unwittingly, by default, they're going into debt. And it's like a grave debt, credit card debt. You know what a grave is?
Yes, where we bury people.
Yeah, you go in there, you can't come out. A lot of people, when they get into that spiral, downward spiral of spending, overspending, before they realize too late. Why? Number one, they are unable to read what is called APR, which is annual percentage rate. I, as an accountant, I can read it. I understand exactly what it is. Of course, many other people, but I'm not talking about people who have not gone to school. I'm talking about doctors. I'm talking about pilot. I'm talking about lawyers, who can actually be carried away into the huge amount of debt without actually reading the fine print. So this evening topic is really about how you can manage your personal debt. If I could just mention, as a matter of disclaimer, this is not a financial advice session. It's simply a provision to provide information for people out there so that they might be able to see. If you really want to find out or financial advice, you can go and consult your financial advisor. This is for information only. Remember the topic? Our topic is simply to help you to understand what are some of the telltale signs whether you're going into debt. In business, that's called overtrading. And in personal debt is called overspending. So don't overspend. Hopefully, this particular show today, this evening, will help the viewer and the listener to say what are the pitfalls they need to avoid.
Okay, I was going to touch on a few things that you've mentioned, but let's try and move on. Obviously, there is good and bad in everything that we do. So I'm sure there is good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
I'll start with bad debt. What is bad debt?
Bad debts are those debt you spend on shopping things that you don't need.
What kind of shopping? Tell us more in detail. I mean, we go in shops, but
people can buy a pair of shoes that they never even wear for many, many years. They have stack of shoes. Because it's a payday, this is a danger. Never go shopping on the day you are paid. Why? You buy the wrong thing. Don't go shopping when you're hungry. Why? You buy things that you don't need.
What about if you've budgeted before your payday? Can you go shopping?
Correct, you can.
Why is that?
It's very, very important. Remember, a budget is a plan. A plan for what you're going to do in the future and how you're going to do it and why you're doing it. A lot of people shop without knowing the why. For me, I go into my wardrobe every month, and I will look into how many suits I've got in relation to how many shirts I've got. If I know that I have enough shirts, I will not buy a shirt for the next 5 months or 6 months. And it's different from our ladies. Our sisters sometimes, like some of my sisters, the wardrobe is full of clothes. And guess what they said to you? I have no clothes to wear. I said, sis, what happened to all of them? Oh, I wore them before. She might go to the shop and go and buy something 150, 200 pounds. Guess what? She will only wear it once and she will not wear it again. This is what we're talking about. She had, one of them has, you think that she's a shoe shop seller. Over 200 pairs of shoes. Some of them they are saying in the wrapping package as they brought them in. Why? She shopped at the wrong time. When she receives that money, that's how she go on the spending spread. So this program is saying that may not be a good idea. Yeah, go and plan carefully. So differentiate your wants from your needs. Needs are the essential. Wants are the surplus. According to Warren Buffett, he said, look, if you keep on buying things that you want, he said you very soon you'll be selling the things that you need in order to pay your debt. So never overcapacitate, never place yourself in a situation where you overspend, so that you don't start selling your good item in order to pay the debt of what you wanted, not what you needed.
Let's move on to good debts. What are good debts, or should I call it healthy debts that
Yes.
People have? I mean, people do have good debts, and sometimes, well, you know, I won't go beyond your expertise, but there is what you might define as realistic debt.
Yes.
So what is good debt?
Good debt are debts that you use in buying asset, right? You go and use a debt to buy a house. Because over time, what happened to that house? It appreciates. Good debt is also debt you buy to invest that will give you a greater return. For example, I borrowed money a month ago, right? Which I put into a business. The business gives me 4% a week return. Okay, I borrow 100,000 and I put it into this business. It gives me 4% a week return. In a month, it gives me around about 16% return on 100,000. But I only need to pay the credit card company, the loan company, £4,000. Have I made a profit? 16,000 I received from the money I borrowed, and 4,000 I paid. What's my net surplus? £12,000 a month. That is a good debt. Debt that will generate enough return over and above. Debt not spent on liability. Debt spent on investment for you to gain back. And this is quite interesting actually. In 1997, I went to an auction. It's a personal experience, right? To go and buy a property. I put a deposit on the property. At the time, it was £29,000. Two-bedroom apartment in Leighton. I went to put a deposit, and I need to complete within 6 weeks. Then I said, how am I going to do this? I went to my local bank. The bank will not give you a loan for me to buy the £29,000. Yeah? Listen to the story. Then I decided to use some of my savings. I said to my wife then, I said, look, this is what we have. Then I applied for a credit card. Credit card company, they gave me a credit at that time around about £21,000 in total. 3, 4, 5 credit card. I went to my bank. I said, I need to withdraw this, I need to withdraw that. I raised about £21,000 in addition to, you know, the 7,000 I had in the bank. I went to my solicitor. My solicitor said, where did you get all this money from? I said, don't worry about it. He said, no. Because of anti-money laundering legislation. I said, oh. Then I explained to him. Then he said to me, Sonny, why are you so desperate to get this property? I said, no, Raj, I'm not desperate. I am keen to acquire this property. Because as an accountant, I know this is an asset. This is the point. 20 years on, 15 years on, do you know the value of that property today? Just guess.
How much is that property?
Over £400,000.
Wow.
Is that a good debt? Yeah, I spend 30,000 on a credit card with a view to buying an asset that now appreciated how many more times? So that's a good debt. Borrow to run a business. Borrow not on depreciated asset, but asset that appreciate. Borrow to run a business. You can borrow to buy a home as well when it appreciates over time. That's a good debt.
I'm sure the viewers watching, wherever they're watching from, would also be keen to know when you land yourself in debt that is not your fault. Okay, you could always find yourself in that kind of debt. I don't know how to explain it, but then I'm sure viewers, they have faced it. I have faced it. I'm sure you yourself, Sonny, has faced it.
Yeah.
What's the best way, or rather the tips of managing such kind of debt, or rather, what's the best way to manage debt?
Okay, I was saying this one to one of my clients just yesterday. This client is in debt of over £30,000. He couldn't pay. I said, okay, very, very simple. Go back to the creditor, don't avoid them. They will send you letters. Never avoid responding to their letters. Go back to them and say, look, this is my situation. Yes, I own this money and I'm willing to pay. At the moment, these are the difficulties. Offer a payment plan. If you're owing 50,000, 30,000, you say to them, I can only pay at the minute £10 towards that debt. This is what is called an arrangement. You arrange with a provider. If when they take you to court, you say to the court, look, yes, I'm owing this money, but I made an offer. This is what my financial capacity can accommodate at this point in time. 90% of judges will be very sympathetic. That's why you see a lot of credit card companies, they can negotiate a payment plan, £5, £2 towards a credit card debt. If you are in difficulties, never avoid the creditor. Face it head on. Discuss with them, negotiate with them. Give them offers that they cannot refuse. But when the letter comes, the tendency is we're hiding away, we hunker down under the table, under the blanket, thinking that the problem will disappear. No, it wouldn't. In fact, it will haunt you even more and worse if you run away from it. Face that credit liability or the debt liability. Face the creditor and negotiate.
Right, okay, I'll open the line before we end the program. The number to dial us on is 07886 625 549. The number should be flashing on your screen. If it's not, the number is 07886 625 549. Please don't be shy. Feel free to call Dr. Sonia Honsi here on this special program on economic empowerment. I mean, I have faced debt, so it's a question of let's not be shy to call in or seek advice. Talking of advice, what sort of advice are you able to give for those that can keep in touch with you after this program? What sort of advice can you give, and what sort of financial assistance can you give to those that are in debt, and probably, as the program says, empowerment, and empower them into generating an extra income so that they don't land themselves into debt? Okay,
very, very simple. Like you say, I mean, I'm not really discussing about managing your personal debt. I'm also discussing about how to augment your own income. Because at the end of the day, why are we falling into debt? Because our income is lower than our expenses. That's what creates a problem. Your expenses is here, your income is here. Usually when you are a lone salary earner, you receive a single salary, which I call the 30/1 payday cycle. You work for 30 days, you got paid for 1 day. Yeah, it's never enough, it's never sufficient. But I also help people to actually develop some businesses alongside their salary. Warren Buffett, one of the earth billionaire, once said, he said, there are 2 rules in creating income, in creating profit. Rule number 1, he said, increase your income by means of salary. Rule number 2, reduce your costs in terms of your expenses. Take a
What line? Sorry to cut you short. So,
Yeah.
what sort of steps does one need to take? I think that's a very important point that you made. What steps should one take in order to reduce their costs?
Well, you need to see what are your outgoings. What can you cut down? What can you cut out? Do the critical analysis of your expenses. Differentiate your want expenses from your needs expenses. The essentials, right? It's important. But going back to the statement that he made, he said, it is easier to control your cost than your income. Because you cannot just
Why
go
is
to
that?
you cannot just go to your boss and say to your boss, look, I want a pay rise. You can't do that, can you? But you can go to your mobile phone, you say, okay, rather than having this contract, renew the contract and pay £62, you can just go for SIM only. The mobile phone you had before, yeah, the one you have last year, 2 years ago, the functions are still good enough. Majority of the functions of our phone, 90% of them, we don't even use them anyway. So receive calls and make calls. So whether the phone they say to you, oh, this is iPhone 8X, Samsung phone 16. The one I bought 4 years ago, my S4, is essentially doing the same thing to S8. SIM only, I'm paying £12 for a month. If I had to obtain a new phone, I'm paying £62. Can you see the difference? So on a monthly basis, I'm saving more than £500 in a year. So some people cannot look into their own costs, their own expenses on a critical level. And this is one of the recommendations I would suggest to the viewers. Look into and differentiate your want from your needs. The needs is what you need, not the wants.
Well, keep those calls coming in. 07886 625 549. I say it again.
Plus
07
44.
plus 44. 07886 625 549. Well, Sonny, there are people obviously watching, or people out there that have a problem with managing their own income. Mm-hmm. And by that I mean, I'm sure you've heard, the viewers at home have heard people saying, I have this loose heart with money and I always end up in debt. You know, I just overspend, even if I don't spend on payday. When I go out there, I still spend, I still overdo things. What advice would you give those?
Okay. Remember, the program is not to provide you with advice, it's to provide you with information that may help you in managing your personal debt. Robert Kiyosaki, one of the earth millionaires, yeah, and on financial education, once said, he says, when you receive your money, your salary, or your profit, if you're running a business, he said, invest first before you spend.
What about if you don't have any ideas of where to invest? What should you do?
Very good. Then you come to people like us to say, look, I have £100, I want to start a business. Can you start a business with £100? Of course you can. And that business can generate, we can coach and mentor you from £100 to £1,000 to even up to £1 million, as the case may be. So, like the saying goes, that a journey of earning £1 million start with the first £1. There are businesses you can start, plethora of business you can start with, just £100. If you are on that salary, you might say, oh, before I pay my expenses, don't pay those expenses yet. Put it into a business that can generate you additional income. Because once you're able to generate additional income, as Warren Buffett said earlier, he said increasing your financial capacity means you're generating secondary source of income. He said you cannot depend on one single income. And that has been a fact. It's been tested that single income earner on salary is never sufficient, even you're on £20,000 a month. Because everything else depends on that source of income. But if you can generate additional source of income, that will augment your income. And when the other income is low, then the other income is high. So it will then move your debt ratio to income ratio. Your income is now greater than your debt, and that's your surplus. That surplus, that's the desired position that we all needed.
Well, fantastic. Well, if you've got any questions, comments, queries, please feel free to dial the number 07886 625 549. If you're calling outside the UK, it's +44, and then dial the number. It's 7886 625 549. Talk of savings. I'm sure there's African Caribbeans or friends of Africa and the Caribbeans watching this program, and people sometimes want to make that journey to Africa or anywhere in the world where they originate from, and they're either facing debt or they want to save the money. What's the best way to save? Is it through the bank, or is it to do what grandpa and grandmom used to do, hide it under the mattress and then tie it in this little note? What's the best way to save?
Okay. Bank are not particularly very helpful.
Why isn't the bank helpful?
Because the bank made the money for themselves, not giving us. Actually, you put £1,000 in the bank. Yeah, I think I demonstrated it in this show. Yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago. The bank will pay you £2.50 return ROI on your savings for a whole year. But if you put it into current financial, yeah, like a company like you go and buy a Bitcoin, yeah, or any of the other cryptocurrency, your £1,000 will can give you up to £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a year return. Right? This is what I do. That's why I help people to manage their financial resources. Remember 2 things I do? I help people to save money, to increase their financial capacity. They already got it. From £100 to increase it to £1,000. That's what I do. On the other hand, or the second things I do, I help people to generate money. If they don't have it, then they can generate a lot more to support themselves and their families. Bank is not particularly a very rewarding platform to save your money. It's just as good as actually putting it under the pillow, quite frankly, for me, right? I'm not against the bank, but it's a safe place to keep your money for them to save it for you. Hence the reason why they even charge you for keeping the money for you, rather than giving you additional on top of it, your interest. Well, the bank are really wicked. OPM, other people's money, they trade with your money, they make huge profit, and they charge you for keeping it for you. That's the reality. Why? Because we are conditioned and be taught that there are no alternatives. But what I'm saying to the viewer and the listener back home or in their respective home is that there are alternatives that are far, far better than the banks, where you can save your money and keep your money, trade with your money. Don't give it to the bank, do it yourself. History have testified and justified that what I'm saying right now is a modern way of you working with your money. Put your money to work for you, not to the bank. So going back to the point you asked in terms of the traditional way of saving money, yes, you can save your money in the bank just for safekeeping so that you can move from one geography to the other rather than having it in your pocket.
What about what's the best way, before we wrap up, what's the best way to save money while it's also making money for you? I mean, the world now has so much expertise, so much technology.
Yeah.
What's the best way, you know, like you save your money, share with the viewers. How do you save your money to generate an extra income, an extra £20, an extra £30 a week or a month?
I save my money now with the cryptocurrency. Okay, what that cryptocurrency simply is a method of payment.
We've got a caller. You think we've got a caller on the line? Hello? Hello, hi, good evening. Welcome to this special program. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and go ahead with your question or contribution.
Okay, this is Festival calling from Camberwell.
Okay, your name is?
We're enjoying your program and I wish to ask some questions from you.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. In the call for the teaching, he explained to us the cause of debts. But we want to know, how do we manage debts? Because I know there's something we call debt management. And I know that to manage your debt, you have to know who and how much you owe. And you have to create a monthly based payment. So I want to know other ways to manage our debts.
Okay.
Because this is a very, in fact, a very good topic which we must learn from.
Okay, very good. You said the name is Festus?
Yes, from Camberwell.
Festus, welcome to the program. Yes, I mean, like I said earlier, right, managing your debt requires a lot of planning, right?
Okay.
And there are two ways you can deal with debts. Number one is don't go into debt in the first place. But if you do find yourself in a situation which is cannot be helped, do not avoid discussing it with the creditor.
Okay.
Go to the creditor, explain to them, you say, look, yes, I'm owing you this money. You confirm the money. You said, how can you help me? Either I lost my job or somebody led me into the debt situation. This is the balance I have after I pay all my bills.
Okay.
It's called the financial plan. Then you say, I have £10 left. Out of that £10, I will give you £5. I'll give you £7. Right?
Okay.
The other way is find a way of actually increasing your income level
Okay.
by consulting with people like us to say, I want to earn some extra secondary income. Then I can say to you, you can start with as little as £100. I have a lot of my team, some of my team all over the world who are starting a business with as little as £100, and they become debt free after 6 months, after a year.
Okay.
And I'm sure the viewer on this particular program, I can help them too, to be able to master or overcome the situation of overcapacity, of indebtedness.
Okay.
You can call me later in order for you to, I can show you the strategies and what can be done. But I must say quite categorically, I am not a financial advisor. I am information provider.
That's very good.
Okay?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I enjoy you.
And you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Festus from Camberwell, for calling. Please keep those calls coming in. The number is flashing on your screen, which is 07886 625 549, or if you're calling outside the UK, it's +44 and the number 7886 625 549. That's 07886 625 549. Of course, our topic this evening is we are discussing debt management. What gets us into debt? What's the best way to manage our debt? Sonny, again, before we wrap up, who normally finds themselves in debt? Is it overspenders? Is it those that love life, love a social life? who are the most common people that land into debt, and what can they do to avoid it?
Okay. There are various people, various factors why people can find themselves in debt. Number one could be they lost their job, right? And research have shown that in Britain, if we lose our debt because we rely on one single salary, our savings sometimes is about 1.5 months. It will take us that far. So you can imagine if you are looking for a job, you're in between jobs, you're changing jobs, and it could be quite traumatic financially. So going into financial reversal, the other way around, getting into debt, can be as a result of losing your job. The other one is, which is really appalling, sadly, is lack of financial planning. Some of us could be highly educated, but we're financially illiterate. In the sense that we are not able to, like I mentioned earlier, it's all about differentiating your needs from your want. What is more important? Right? And look, you got what is called the latte factor. What does that mean? If you just stop buying McDonald's or going into Costa or buying lunch from outside, you just bring sandwiches. You buy a little ham or a little whatever fish from Tesco or from any other supermarket with a piece of bread that will cost you 20 a pound. Compare it to going to any of those big shops whereby you're spending £5. Every day you'll be spending £4. If you do that for a period of 40 years, you will have saved more than £1 million in savings. But people take it for granted, oh, it's only £5. But just £5, you multiply by 5 for the week, right? That's £25. If you have been saving it by buying something from the shop, a bread or homemade food, take it into work. That's what I do. And I save enormous amount of money every single day. So lack of financial planning, spending thinking, oh yeah, it is only, is a latter factor. The analogy I normally use is this. Just try this experiment. When you're going to bed in the night, put a bucket of water under your sink or in the bathroom. Just allow the water to drop. Tup, tup, tup. In the morning, guess what is going to happen? That bucket will be full. It's the same way with insidious little amount of debt, spending. If you can avoid that, then you're going to be financially better off. So careful planning is important. Like I always say, use this information for your own personal purposes. And some of you can also approach your financial, if you don't, financial advisor. If you don't have one, you can come to, we can lead you to a good financial advisor. Or we can actually help you to develop some information that incredible amount of information available on the internet, how you can actually manage your personal finances. And we are here to provide you the right information and the right direction at the same time. Thirdly, is to find source of generating additional income. And this is where I come in, where I help people to generate additional income that can help them. Because the more and more they're able to generate additional income, then they're able to overtake the income, now become wider than the debt.
Okay, well, another question for you, Sonny, is when do you start realizing, what are the signals that tell people that you are about to go in debt?
Number one. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Good evening.
Yeah, we're actually on the TV studio right now, doing debt management. Yeah, you can actually call me in about 30 minutes time. Yeah?
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so coming to a point, I'm sure the viewers would like to know what are the signals. You know, it's like when you're about to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You can actually see that here I'm about to get in trouble. So what are the signals that indicate that you are about to get in debt?
The starting point is this. If you use credit card like me, is paying the full balance. Then you end up making half of the balance. Then you end up actually making the minimum payment. Yeah? These are the telltale signs that you're going beyond your debt capacity. So it's also very important you examine your statement on a monthly basis. And this is something very important from personal experience. Always check your statement. Don't trust the bank to do it for you or your credit card company. They load you with so much that you have not even spent. Every single month, very often, log on to your own bank account. Check it possible daily because you can spot any discrepancy almost immediately. Or check it weekly. How many people for the last 3, 4, 5 years have not actually checked their bank statement or credit card statement? You end up with paying for things that you have not actually spent, you have not actually enjoyed. So the more and more you see your credit card bill rising or your overdraft is increasing, you know for sure you are going beyond your debt capacity, and it is time to call in some financial expert to see how you can. It is time for you to actually put your budget together. In fact, as a matter of fact, it is better for you to identify first, create a budget. Remember, a budget is a plan of income to be generated and the expenses to be incurred. The difference will tell you on a monthly basis whether you are exceeding your debt capacity or you are maintaining some level of surplus. If you're maintaining a level of surplus, great. If you're maintaining deficit, then there's crisis. So you can plan towards that particular month or time. If you want to know how to also plan your financial capacity, personal budget, we can also help you to do that as well.
Right, fantastic. Well, our time not with us, of course, will come to the end of this special program. But just finally, Sunny, those that want to get in touch with you, and then if you've got any seminars coming up, please feel free to share, the details, address, and feel free to give out your number for those who want to get into cryptocurrency, debt management, or need business empowerment. Remember, you've always said your service is free.
Yep.
And somebody will be suspicious to ask, how does he make his money? He says, through a third party. So go ahead.
Yes, so you already have heard everything we discussed about. I'm a man of multiple sources of income. Right? I help people to find employment. I help people to secure their mortgages, loans, all the different kinds. Yeah, that's one of the things I do. Even up to issue of immigration. Those are some of the things that I do. I use what is called a third-party resource people to generate different sources of income. I can share my experiences with viewers and listeners to say, yes, we can help you to be on the road to generating additional income for yourself. In order to do this, I do this every single Saturday at our premises in Stratford in London. My telephone number is +44 788 66 25549. That is +44 788 66 25549. It's also flashing on the screen whereby you can actually get the information as well. You can call me, send me a text or a WhatsApp message on that number, then I can forward you additional information by emails and so forth. So today's topic is really how you can manage your debt And we are here to support you, to encourage you, to show you the way based on our personal experiences, providing information that will be useful, that will be resourceful in managing your personal debt so that you can be financially not free necessarily, but independent.
Well, thank you so much, Sonny, for joining us on this special program. We shall be back as usual, same time, between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Next week. It's every Thursday between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. UK time. Well, on behalf of the Noble Production, I am John Chinode. I would like to wish you an outstanding week and always live debt-free. Goodbye.
Noble people,
Atide.
noble presenters,
Atide.